in the search for Nancy Guthrie. I am still here in Tucson, Arizona. And if you remember from Savannah's interview, she made the point, we were trying to tell them she didn't just wander off. She can't even walk to the mailbox most days. If they were going under that assumption, would you think that was a waste of time in the beginning? Like, what goes through your mind there?
That on today.com. The vice president says donations like the one from the Guthrie family will go.
2:14 a.m. Pima County, Arizona. The world was watching a routine live report on the disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. But in a heartbeat, the routine died. Look at Brian Entin's face in this frame. This isn't professional fatigue. This is a visceral, biological fight or flight response. Something was standing in that dark patch of desert that was never meant to be filmed. And then, the kill switch. The feed didn't just glitch, it was surgically severed. I have spent the last 48 hours deconstructing those 3 seconds of darkness. What I found in the metadata of that deleted live stream, the red folder, is going to change everything you think you know about the Guthrie case. This isn't just about a missing grandmother anymore. This is about a 12-second mistake that might have just cost the most powerful people in the state their entire careers. By the time we reach the end of this investigation, you'll see the evidence they tried to scrub from the internet forever. To understand why they cut the feed, we have to look at the planned conspiracy of the first 48 hours. The official narrative was simple. Nancy wandered off. A vulnerable woman, a desert heat, a tragic accident. But while the world was looking at the search helicopters, no one noticed the silent exchange at the Pima County Sheriff's back entrance. Let's apply the liar's lens to the day one press conference. Watch the sheriff's hands. While he talks about hope, his fingers are white, gripping the podium so hard they're trembling. And look at Nancy's daughter in the background. Look at every news outlet called it grief. I call it terror. Look at the way she avoids the camera's lens, as if she's being watched by someone behind the reporters. We've been told this was a simple disappearance, but if you look at the routine Nancy followed for 40 years, she never broke a single habit. Until the night she was selected. This wasn't a wandering, it was a retrieval. The explosion happened at Ground Zero, that remote stretch of desert where Brian was standing. But here's the detail the mainstream media forgot to mention. The smell. Insiders at the scene reported a sickening chemical odor hanging in the air. The smell of industrial-grade bleach in a place where no one should be cleaning. Then came the first breach. A leaked text from a terrified junior deputy mentioned a digital device found near a discarded walking cane. But here's the twist. The device didn't belong to Nancy. It was a high-frequency transponder, the kind used in elite logistics. Just as the scandal of this planted evidence peaked, I realized something even darker. This leak was a distraction. They wanted us to find the transponder so we wouldn't look 50 yards further, where the soil had been disturbed in a perfect geometric rectangle. The discovery Brian made wasn't a clue. It was a message left for someone else. A double-layer mystery where the truth is buried under a lie, which is buried under a grave. The moment Brian's feed went dark, the digital inferno ignited. Within an hour, on 3 major news networks issued internal D-notices, a gag order normally reserved for national security threats. Why is a missing 84-year-old woman a threat to national security? Because she wasn't just a grandmother. She had connections. Connections that lead directly to a shadow figure who hasn't been seen in public since 2014. Look at the social proofing. 2 massive true crime creators who were deep diving into the desert site suddenly deleted their entire history. Why? Because the war isn't coming. It's already here. My sources tell me about emergency boardroom meetings where the main topic wasn't Nancy Guthrie. It was damage control for what Brian's camera accidentally caught in the background. A black SUV with no plates, parked exactly where the restricted zone begins. As I'm recording this, my legal team is already receiving privacy flags. They are trying to blacklist this narrative before it reaches your ears. They want you to believe Brian Entin had a panic attack, but Brian is a veteran of war zones and high-stakes crime. He doesn't freeze. He was stopped. This is psychological warfare. They are creating a vacuum of information to make you feel crazy for questioning the official story. They've moved Nancy's file to a redacted server. Think about the stakes. Why move a local missing persons case to a federal classified status? Because this isn't a career-ending scandal for a sheriff, it's a career execution for people much higher up the food chain. You are watching something forbidden, a story they are literally trying to erase from the algorithm as we speak. Now, Di na po kikinsain and is offline now. Let's go back to that red folder and the 3-second glitch. When I slowed down the footage by 500%, I saw it. In the corner of the frame, just before the feed cuts, there isn't just a glove. There is a shattered glass trophy, a specific item Nancy's family claimed was stolen from her home 20 years ago. The nuclear truth? Nancy didn't disappear that night. The desert discovery suggests she has been part of a structured arrangement for decades. The desert isn't where she died, it's where she was handed over. The 3-second darkness was to hide the person Brian saw standing near that disturbed soil, the shadow figure who was there to collect the final piece of a 20-year-old debt. This goes beyond a kidnapping. This is an international exchange that was never meant to be televised. Brian Entin didn't just see a crime. He saw the face of the people who run the desert. They want to bury this case in the Arizona sand. They are betting that you will click away and forget. But the algorithm only listens to one thing: the truth. Is Nancy Guthrie a victim of a random crime, or is she the sacrifice in a system we aren't supposed to understand? Type sacrifice if you think she was handed over, or witness if you believe Brian Entin is the next target. I'm going through every single comment to find the most detailed theories for part 2. Before they take this channel down, subscribe to stay protected from the cover-up. We are the only ones left asking the real questions. Are you with us, or are you with them?